Prairie View City Council is now back from executive session. Ms. Johnson, would you certify the quorum, please?
Councilman Williams.
Present.
Councilman Randall.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Councilman Wallace.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now back in regular session. Item 1, discuss and consider approval appointment of chief of police and process and procedures related to the appointment. What's council's pleasure?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman
we have
Bowman?
no action. Well, don't we need to make the motion for Monday?
No, I think you need to make a do we need a motion on no action?
Monday?
I know y'all, well, I believe we know you want it on the
Consensus?
same thing on the agenda, and we'll make sure it gets on the agenda.
Okay, so we don't need a motion, consensus
No,
is okay?
yes. that's-
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Rowland?
you took my sheet. I move that we discuss, consider approval of appointment of interim chief of police and process of procedures related to this appointment.
Second.
It's been properly moved that council discuss and consider approval of appointment of chief of police and process and procedures related to the appointment.
In-
Have a motion?
Interim.
Interim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Discuss and consider approval of appointment of interim chief of police and process and procedures related to the appointment. You've heard the motion, ready for the questions?
Already.
Councilman Jones?
I feel like it's important, well, I said this last week as well, just the transparency. It is an emergency hire. On Monday, when we come back, we will make an appointment plan, the future and direction in which we will lead in. So that's why there's no action taken. It was an emergency hire, meaning that it's 30 days. Our emergency hire chief, he's only been, I want to say about 2 weeks now, so that way it gives us time to make an interim decision. That's why we can't take any action.
Any other in readiness? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right? Ayes have it. Item 2, discuss, consider, and request an investigation on the abuse of power for the emergency hiring of a police chief by Mayor Allen. What's council's pleasure? Or is it the same thing you just stated?
No action.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the council discuss, consider, and request an investigation on abuse of power for the emergency hiring of the police chief by Mayor Allen. You've heard the motion, ready for the question?
We take no action.
I do
We
have,
take, oh, that we take no action.
I do have an unread
Okay.
Will we have to go back into executive session, Attorney Zach?
It depends on what you want to ask.
Around, on number 2?
Or do you want to wait to?
You have authority to do that under
Right.
personnel or under consultation with attorney if you want to have a discussion, yes, sir.
Is it because of the report?
Yeah, again, it was just that we would have a discussion in executive session, or do we? 'Cause
Well-
this doesn't move to the next meeting. This agenda item shouldn't move to the next, our Monday meeting, it's not.
But I believe it was hashed
So-
out already.
So we've come to the conclusion.
No, we didn't have a
No, we
discussion
didn't
about
have a
item.
discussion about that.
We did not have a discussion about item 2. Item 2 is now up. You can either have a discussion,
Yes.
or not have a discussion. If it's a discussion that you want advice from your attorney, we can do that in closed session. Otherwise, it's open session.
I've got an unreadiness or clarification for council. With the mayor having the authority for an emergency hiring, how can there be an abuse of power? Could you give us a clarification for us and the body?
Well, I can tell you what your current ordinances say.
Okay, would you say that, please?
That's what we discussed in the executive.
Yeah, as part of the appointment
Call for the
process.
question.
Yeah, as part of the appointment process.
All those in favor say aye. I'm not clear what we're voting on anymore.
No, someone made a motion of no action, I think.
Oh, to take no action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Ayes have it.
Can we add new business? It's
I'm,
not-
I'm comfortable with
It's not
that.
on the agenda, but can we add it?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that while y'all are sitting here. As long as you don't have discussion about it, just putting it on the agenda.
Yeah, no, never. Ms. Johnson, you ready?
Yes.
Can we, discuss and take any possible action on this TCQ report that we received today? We just got it today, so I guess by Monday we'll have a chance to review it, if there's any action needs to be taken. Can you be sure that you have a copy of that or change that?
Yes, sir, I've already received one.
Awesome. Also, can we discuss and take action on, the tree cutting of Mr. Hall? Do we need to, does it need to be a motion?
No
Second.
problem, I have an update for council.
And,